Hi everyone, this is Group 6. Today we want to start with a fundamental challenge that every successful organization faces. How do you manage your current success while simultaneously building your future? It's a balancing act where many fail. Companies get so good at managing the present and they forget to create the future, or they become trapped by the past, by old habits and outdated models that once made them successful. This is the exact problem we're here to solve. The framework we'll be presenting today is called the three-box solution. As our slide says, this is a model for how great innovator and lasting companies operate. It's a strategic framework for balancing the demands of today with the opportunities of tomorrow. It breaks down into three key activities: creating the future, managing the present, and crucially, selectively forgetting the past. Over the next 10 minutes, our group will guide you through each of these three boxes. We'll explore what each one means in practice and which one of the group members have achieved through reading all the PDF.
When I explored the three-box solution, something clicked for me. I realized that effective strategy isn't about predicting the future, it's about preparing for several possible futures at the same time. The framework helped me see how easily we get trapped by focusing only on the present. What I learned is that innovation needs deliberate time carved out for the future, not just reactive efforts. So going forward, I'm restructuring my weekly planning. I will intentionally divide my attention between box 1 and box 2 and box 3. This way, I don't just manage today's work, but I also burn outdated habits and make room for new ideas. For me, this approach brings clarity and balance to how I make decisions.
My biggest takeaway was a bit uncomfortable at first. Past success can become a quiet obstacle. I never realized how often I rely on routines simply because they worked before. The three-box framework made me confront how these habits can block innovation without me noticing. To change that, I'm making a commitment. Each month, I look at one habit, process, or assumption that I've held onto for too long. I analyze whether it still serves me, and if not, I replace it with something more aligned with future goals. For me, this is about upgrading my thinking, not just my behavior.
Box 3 really stood out for me. I used to think experimentation meant being spontaneous or taking big creative leaps. What I learned is that real experimentation is structured learning. It's disciplined way to reducing uncertainty step by step. Now, instead of waiting the perfect idea or over planning, I'm shifting to quick, low risk pilots. I want to test ideas early, learn from them, and then decide if they worth scaling. This approach feels more dynamic and practical, and I believe it will help me bring a better idea forward with less hesitation.
My insight came from box 1. It reminded me that strong execution isn't the enemy of innovation. It's actually what runs and protects it. We can't build the future if the present isn't stable. What I'm taking into my routine is a focus on removing frictions. If tasks messy or disorganized, they drain energy that could be used for creativity. So I'll be refining my workflows, tightening process, and simplifying repetitive tasks. This way, I'm not just managing operations, I'm creating space for innovations to happen naturally.
What struck me was how innovation relies on structure. We often think creativity is spontaneous, but the three-box solution shows that consistency and accountability are just as important. Systems keep ideas alive long after the initial excitement fades. To apply this, I'm building a personal dashboard that tracks my activities across box 1, box 2, and box 3. It will help me see whether I'm overly focused on the present or neglecting the future. For me, this fits perfectly with how I like to work, with clarity, patterns, and long-term thinking.
The step-by-step creative process. The step-by-step process can be broken down into 4 phases. First is routine and habits, which means setting a structure to prepare the mind. Second is exploration, where you must try, fail, and learn. Third is reflection, where you find what works and then refine it. And 4 is evolution, which means moving beyond your comfort zones and repeating the process. Learning throughout others. A significant part of the creative process is learning throughout others. Creativity often starts with imitation, but it grows throughout and repetition. It's important to understand that copying in this context means learning from others' problems. It does not mean stealing their solution. Think of Picasso and Brick. Working on the same problem didn't kill their originality, it actually deepened it.
So, after exploring the three boxes, creating the future, managing the present, and sensibly forgetting the past, we arrive at our conclusion. And really, it all comes down to balance. As you can see on the slide, innovation isn't a single act, it's a constant dynamic process. It thrives when we, as individuals and as organizations, are consciously doing three things at once. First, we have to balance the demands of the present. We must continue to execute and deliver. Second, we must consciously release outdated habits. This is the hardest part, letting go of the past that no longer serves us. And third, we must courageously build the future, where we experiment and create what's next. But the most important takeaway, especially for us as a group, is the last part. In any team, each person contributes differently. Some of us are natural, present managers, others are future visionaries, and some of us that have critical eye to see what we need to forget. We respect these different perspectives and bring them together. We create something powerful, a living system of continuous learning. You stop being just a team that completes tasks and you become an organization that is constantly learning, adapting, and making its own future. This is the power of the pre-box solution. Thank you so much.